Under the circumstances, I can't think of any place else that I would have wanted to come to basically help me get back on my feet.
Well, I was going through a difficult period, and Roy's has enabled me to get through that and to proceed with my life, whereas it would have been extremely difficult if it hadn't have been for Roy's.
So, you know, at the end of the day, when it was time to be picked up at the spots, I would tell people it's time to go home. You know, it kind of felt good to have a base to work from and to start from.
I see homeless shelters and homeless people in an entirely different light because we're all from different walks of life.
Hello, my name is John Benoit. I'm Supervisor for the 4th District, Riverside County. And I'm pleased to be here today at Roy's Desert Resource Center. The story of Roy's Desert Resource Center is a story of commitment of many, but particularly of the commitment and dedication of one unique individual, and that's Supervisor Roy Wilson. Roy Wilson was a giant in his community. Roy recognized the growing need of the homeless and impoverished. In 2004, Roy Wilson asked the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, CVAG, to help address the regional homeless issues in our valley. The Homeless Committee was created at Roy's urging and the urging of local elected officials across the valley. With the county's help, the committee identified a building that they wanted to use to house this facility. But there remained a major issue faced by the committee, and that was lack of funds to operate the facility. Because Roy knew how serious the problem was, he went out and secured bond funding to purchase the building and create the tenant improvements to the empty shell. Roy's Desert Resource Center opened on December 21st, 2009. Like the center's namesake, is making a big difference in our community today. The center will continue Roy's legacy for years to come. Roy's is here to give a hand up, not a handout. Thank you for your interest and support of Roy's Desert Resource Center.
We started out as a task force and soon saw that the need was greater beyond the task force's ability. The Homelessness Committee is comprised of 9 elected officials representing the 9 cities within the Coachella Valley and the County of Riverside. The Homelessness Committee also includes individuals representing the nonprofit and the service providers within the Coachella Valley. Their technical expertise and experience adds to the value and the charge of the Homelessness Committee. Roy's Desert Resource Center provides a one-stop shop for all of those in need of referrals and services to help end homelessness.
In 2009, the county counted homeless people. We have to do this every 2 years for a federal mandate, and when we did this count in 2009, we found nearly 1,500 people homeless in the Coachella Valley. That is about 44% of all homeless people in our county. First-time homelessness in Riverside County accounts for 56% of the people who enter into homelessness. So in our county, homelessness is a new thing for many of the people seeking shelter here. In 2009, Columbia Business School in New York City selected Roy's Desert Resource Center as a site where they could apply students to learn about consulting efforts in the United States. They bring together through an executive education program executive leaders from around the world and focus them on one project in the United States at one time. They chose Roy's. When someone enters into homelessness, a one-stop shop such as Roy's is a vital place to come to because under one roof, a homeless person can access almost everything they need to help them exit homelessness. So by coming to Roy's, you can be seen by an intake case manager. You can obviously get a shelter bed and be seen by a nurse if you're needed. You can go to a food section where you're offered meals and have all the nutritional requirements met from your family. You can also then be seen by case management staff who will take a look at the issues that have caused your homelessness and help you figure out ways to exit those issues so that they don't continue to be a hindrance in your life and allow you to return to mainstream society.
What I like most about staying at Roy's is that it has totally changed my whole outlook on homeless people and shelter living. And I would say absolutely that I see homeless shelters and homeless people in an entirely different light because we're all from different walks of life. I mean, no one ever would take me for being homeless, and I am.
Well, it was all my own bad decisions that I had made. I had been a teacher in LA for 9 years and a high school baseball coach for 5. Before I was at Roy's, for several months, I was living in the front seat of a friend's car out in front of their house. And it wasn't real fun having the windows down because it was so hot and there was nowhere else for me to go. If Roy's wasn't around, probably would have been living on the street, and that wouldn't have been a very good thing.
I'm ex-non-vet disabled, and I heard about Roy's from the Well of the Desert. People at Well of the Desert said that there was a new homeless shelter, and that was here. I'm actually very grateful to come here. If Roy's services hadn't been available, it would have been necessary for me to deal with whatever other services that were available. If necessary, I would have had to have gone homeless and been living on the streets.
A couple of years ago, Palm Springs thought that they could handle the issue of homelessness within Palm Springs, and we formed a committee to look at it. It became very apparent very quickly that we just could not deal with the homeless issue as one city, that this was an issue that had to be dealt with valley-wide. And so that was when we really decided to work with CVAG in helping to establish Roy's. And it has been wonderful for the short time that it's been open. We've had a lot of success stories here, and Palm Springs is very proud to be part of this effort. The plan was always and is now coming to fruition with a lot more social service organizations and entities. We've created through Roy's not only this public entity through our cities and government, but also a very cooperative, seamless kind of organization which involves all of our nonprofits. We went out with an RFP to various groups, and we were fortunate to have Desert SOS respond, and they are the major provider here. And those services are the shelter services, the food services, the transportation services, and are working in conjunction with all of the nonprofit organizations in providing the case management and all the other services that are required. Our main goal is to be the middle ground that gets people back on their feet, back into work, back into homes, children back into school. And SOS has been an incredible partner with us in that venture.
We are under construction right next door with a safe haven facility that will have bedrooms, kitchen, living room for homeless folks and drop-in. We have mental health facilities to help people. We will have job training programs here. We will have case management, and we'll have in this large facility here that we stand in right now, we'll have about 128 beds for people for overnight staying. When the county purchased this facility for a little under $5 million, and we're putting renovation money into it, so it'll be probably about $8 million when we're through. It started through a collaborative effort with all of the cities in the Coachella Valley coming together under the auspices of the Coachella Valley Association of Governments, and they sat down and they planned, how do we take care of the homeless in our valley? And they did a lot of talking. They also, in addition to the cities, they used all the nonprofits that provided services for the homeless folks and brought them forward to meet with them and say, how can we do the job better collectively? And out of that came this resource center.